having a baby.
On June 4th, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, welcomed their newest child, Lilibet Lily Diana Mountbatten Windsor, to the family in Santa Barbara, California. With all of the fandom around Meghan, Harry, and their two children, we're now left wondering, is there any way Harry's daughter would become queen?
A boy and then a girl? And what more can you ask for?
All of us fans of the royal family were reaching for tissues as we heard the news of the little girl's birth and the announcement of her name, honoring both the child's late grandmother, Diana, and great-grandmother, Queen Elizabeth. But with the birth announcement came some questions about how this might affect the royal family, especially as it comes to the future of the throne. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry officially stepped down as senior members of the royal family over a year ago. But we know that there's no resigning from succession. Prince Harry is still sixth in line to the throne. Despite living in Southern California and moving on to new business ventures, Prince Harry remains a part of the royal family by blood. Queen Elizabeth is preparing to celebrate her Platinum Jubilee in 2022, celebrating 70 years on the throne. And now that the Queen is 95 years old, it's natural to think a bit more about the future of the royal family and how the departure of Meghan and Harry, as well as the birth of both of their children, may or may not affect the line of succession. After January of 2020, when the Duke and Duchess of Sussex announced that they would be stepping down as senior members of the royal family,
the decision that I have made for my wife and I to step back is not one I made lightly.
we had a lot of questions. We wanted to know what was really going on behind the scenes, and we wanted to know what this meant for the future of the royal family. On their departure, a statement from Buckingham Palace read, "While they can no longer formally represent the Queen, the Sussexes have made clear that everything they do will continue to uphold the values of Her Majesty." But now, as we've been watching Harry and Meghan build their new lives in Southern California, we're wondering what this all means for their lives. Despite stepping down from their official duties, Meghan and Harry officially remain the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Their son, Archie, was born in May of 2019. His full name is Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor, and he was born without a title. Even without what's referred to as an HRH, a His or Her Royal Highness title, he is seventh in line to the throne. Now, with the birth of Lilibet, we know she will begin her life without a royal title, while being eighth in line to the throne, just behind her brother. That spot puts her closer to ruling than we might expect from family members that have stepped down from the business side of things. The line of succession in the royal family has changed over the years, as older practices have been replaced with newer ones, making sure that the line of succession isn't as dependent on things like gender as it was with older generations. For reference, Princess Charlotte is the first female royal to not come after her brothers in the line of succession, regardless of where they fall in birth order. That said, some of the main pieces have stayed the same and will affect the newest Mountbatten Windsor baby even as she grows up with her brother and parents in Southern California. Succession favors the firstborn's family line, meaning the next monarch will be His Royal Highness Charles, Prince of Wales, and then moving on to his firstborn, His Royal Highness William, Duke of Cambridge, with his wife, Her Royal Highness Kate, Duchess of Cambridge. Because William's children come first in line, Harry will always be in line after the young Cambridge royals. And then comes Harry's children, Archie, then Lilibet. But the line of succession isn't just about long titles and what happens if the monarch passes. Queen Elizabeth experienced firsthand what it was like to be more removed while she was growing up. Though technically born third in line to the throne, young Elizabeth had no real expectation of being queen. Rather, she assumed that eventually her uncle would have children of his own, bumping her further from the throne, as was done to Elizabeth's older children when Charles had two boys, who then have had children of their own. But when Elizabeth's uncle, Edward VIII, abdicated the throne unexpectedly, it made his brother, George VI, king, and made Elizabeth second in line, with ruling England very clearly a part of her future. The abdication was a huge turning point for the royal family. All you crown watchers out there know, but was a great example of how quickly the line of succession, though seemingly very established, can change. In that same vein, if for some reason William or his children were to abdicate the throne, the line of succession could shift, favoring Harry's family instead. Considering historical context, where Prince Harry's future daughter is in line to be queen isn't really so far off. As it stands, with Harry sixth in line to become king, we know his daughter is eighth in line at birth. That is, of course, assuming William has no other children that would put the Sussexes further down the line. At 8th in line to become queen, behind her brother, father, first cousins, uncle, and grandfather, we know it's unlikely that we'll see a day where England is ruled by Lilibet. For that to happen, she would essentially have to outlive her whole family, as well as not be replaced in the line by any future grandchildren of her uncle, William. Though it might be near impossible to imagine a world where either Harry or his children become the ruler of England, it's also almost just as unlikely that they would be removed from succession as well. Only an act of British Parliament can remove a royal from the Succession of the Throne Act. So while we may not see a day where Meghan is the Queen Mother and her daughter is ruling England, we will get to watch as Lilibet and her brother Archie grow up in the royal family, watching along from the front row as their uncle eventually ascends the throne. In their now viral interview with Oprah, Harry and Meghan shared a bit about Archie not being offered a royal title at birth. It wasn't automatically expected, but would have been easy for the Queen to give him one. Though the parents have expressed wanting to create a more normal life for their two children, having a royal title provides more than just royal obligations for Archie and Lilibet. It provides protection. In her interview with Oprah, Meghan shared that the title wasn't even the issue for them. All the grandeur surrounding this stuff is an attachment that I don't really have. With all of the public interest in the Sussexes, protection is necessary to keep them safe, and that includes the safety of their newest addition, Harry and Meghan's daughter. Harry shared that they have had to pay for private security to keep them safe, and that will be the case until the day that the children are offered a title. So whether or not Lilibet is destined to be queen one day, she's still likely to be offered a royal title, similar to that of her mom and dad, and will hopefully include some royal protection as well. Once Charles takes the throne, both Lilibet and Archie will become princess and prince, in following with tradition, as they'll then be grandchildren of the king. Despite that change in title, we still don't expect them to be much more active in royal life, and instead be prince and princess while continuing to live in Southern California. It's pretty hard to imagine not only living your life in the spotlight, but in a royal spotlight, with the pressures and expectations that come along with that. As we've seen in past and present generations, the reality of royal life is not all ball gowns and tiaras. And as we've watched the Sussexes forage their own path, we can see that they're working hard to build a life outside of the royal world. Even with formally stepping down, Harry, Archie, and Lilibet are still in line to the throne, meaning that there is still a possibility that one day, one of them might end up sitting on it. And though we don't expect to see Queen Lilibet anywhere but in our royal daydreams, we are all so excited to welcome the newest member of the royal family. Where do you think the Sussexes should be in the line of succession? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe for all your royal updates. Thanks for stopping by The Things Celebrity, and long live the Queen!